7 deadly sins are not just old teachings from the past. They are alive today, working quietly inside the human heart. They don't come suddenly. They grow slowly, step by step, until one day they begin to control your thoughts, your desires, and your actions. And the most dangerous part is this: they don't look evil in the beginning. They feel normal. That is why so many people are trapped without even realizing it. The Bible may not list the 7 deadly sins in one place, but it clearly warns about these attitudes again and again. They are deadly because they slowly destroy your relationship with God, your peace, your purpose, and even your future. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Guard your heart above all else, for everything you do flows from it." That means the real battle is not outside. It is inside your heart. Let's walk through them slowly. The first is pride. Pride is not just confidence. Pride is when you lift yourself above God and others. It is when you start believing that you are always right, that you don't need correction, that you don't need God. Proverbs 16:18 says, "Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall." Pride was the sin that caused Satan to fall from heaven, and it is still destroying people today. Pride makes you reject advice. It makes you look down on others. It makes you depend on yourself instead of God. And the scary part is, pride can hide inside good things. Even in prayer, even in ministry, even in doing good works, you can be doing the right thing but with the wrong heart. The second is greed. Greed is never being satisfied. It is always wanting more, even when you already have enough. More money, more success, more attention, more control. Luke 12:15 says, "Watch out. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed." Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. Greed tells you that things will satisfy you. But the truth is, the more you chase, the more empty you feel. Ecclesiastes 5:10 says, "Whoever loves money never has enough." Greed slowly replaces God with the world. It shifts your focus from eternal things to temporary things. The third is lust. Lust is not just about actions. It begins in the mind. It begins with a look, a thought, a desire. Matthew 5:28 says, "Anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Lust lies to you. It tells you that this is love. It tells you that this is pleasure, but it is not love. It is selfish. It uses people instead of valuing them. And after the moment passes, it leaves guilt, shame, and distance from God. 1 Corinthians 6:18 says, "Flee from sexual immorality, not fight it slowly. Not entertain it. Run from it." The fourth is envy. Envy is when you look at someone else's life and feel unhappy about your own. It is when someone succeeds, and instead of feeling happy, something inside you feels bitter. James 3:16 says, "For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice." Envy destroys your peace. It steals your joy. It makes you compare your life with others constantly. Instead of thanking God for what you have, you start complaining about what you don't have. And slowly your heart becomes restless. The fifth is gluttony. Gluttony is not just overeating. It is overconsumption of anything: food, entertainment, social media, games, anything that takes control over you. 1 Corinthians 6:12 says, "I have the right to do anything," you say, "but not everything is beneficial. I will not be mastered by anything." The problem is not the thing itself. The problem is when it starts controlling you, when you cannot say no, when it becomes an addiction. Gluttony weakens discipline. It makes your spirit weaker and your flesh stronger. The sixth is wrath. Wrath is uncontrolled anger. Ephesians 4:26 says, "In your anger do not sin." Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. Anger itself is not always wrong. Even Jesus showed anger at times. But when anger controls you, it becomes destructive. It leads to harsh words, broken relationships, regret, and sometimes even violence. Proverbs 29:11 says, "Fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm in the end." Wrath is quick, but wisdom is calm. The seventh is sloth. Sloth is not just laziness. It is spiritual laziness. It is knowing what is right but delaying it, avoiding it, ignoring it, not praying when you should, not reading the word, not growing. Proverbs 18:9 says, "One who is slack in his work is brother to one who destroys." Sloth slowly kills purpose. It wastes time. It keeps you stuck while life keeps moving. You don't fall away from God in one day. You drift slowly, little by little. Day by day, these sins may look small at first, But they grow. James 1:15 says, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. That is why they are deadly. They start as thoughts. Then they become habits. Then they become chains. But here is the hope. You are not called to be controlled by sin. You are called to overcome it. Romans 6:14 says, for sin shall no longer be your master, because you are not under the law but under grace. God does not just show you your sin. He gives you power to fight it through prayer, through His Word, through discipline, through the Holy Spirit. Galatians 5:16 says, walk by the Spirit and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. Every day is a battle, but every day is also a choice to follow your flesh or follow God. Though don't ignore these sins, don't justify them. Don't make excuses, recognize them, fight them, bring them to God, ask Him to change your heart, ask Him to give you strength, because what controls your heart will control your life, and the one who wins your heart will decide your eternity.